Morning guys, my name is Yvonne, I'm an alcoholic.
Yvonne.
I'm so freaking nervous, so excuse me if I'm all over the place. Yeah, I've got a lot of things to say, but the words just, they're not there today. And normally I've got a mouth that doesn't want to stop. Immense gratitude is all I can say. As the reading that Mark read there was, it's actually so pertinent for me, because without people helping me and showing me the way, I would not be here today. But yet I am. A lot of people doubted that I could do it, and at some stage I doubted myself also. But through my higher power, God, friendship, for this fellowship, I'm here. So I'll start from the beginning. I was raised in a very loving home. My dad was an alcoholic. My mom's mom, my grand, was an alcoholic as well. But yet there was always love in the house. My father was in and out of our lives from a very young age. My mom and them got divorced. And then we basically was raised by my mom and my grand until the age of, I think, standard 5, which is grade 7. But I never wanted for anything. For me, it was, my mom gave what she could, and we were happy. And then when I was 9 years old, I was involved in a car accident, and I was in hospital for about 3 months. And the family gathered, because I'm the youngest of all the cousins and so on. And poor Yvonne, and I think that's where the thought came in about, how to manipulate people, because whenever I wanted something from that age and I couldn't have it, I used to play on the fact that, oh, my leg is sore, or, oh, I want this, and no, you can't have it, whatever, you can't, whatever, then, oh, but I've got a sore leg. And it started from that age, which is 9. And it carried on, through my entire life. Going into high school, I was always part of the popular crowds, and I had a very easy school life. Academically and sports-wise, I performed well, and straight through, I was well liked by everybody. And I never got involved with alcohol at all, because I saw what it did to my dad, and I didn't want to be like him. So when the kids at school used to go out and have parties, whatever, I used to go with, but I never touched alcohol. And then in standard 8, I met my husband, ex-husband, sorry, and it was an awesome relationship. Like when you first loves go, you break up, you make up, and so on. And until about after matric, he went to army, and we were still together. And we went to a party the one night with friends of ours, and I had a sip of alcohol there, and I remember it clearly because I didn't like the taste, but I liked the effect it had on me, and that was it. And then Jan and I broke up, and I moved to Cape Town, and wine is almost freely available there. And which was nice there is that they had these carts, you can go through the winelands on a route and taste, spit out, and Yvonne didn't spit out, Yvonne tasted and swallowed. And needless to say, I remember the cart going, and then I don't remember much after that. But it didn't bug me, because it wasn't something that happened on a daily basis. And then you could buy a 2-litre bottle of wine, and that would last me for a month. And then the 2-litre became only lasting me for 2 weeks, and then a week, and then I went on to 5 litres. No warning bells rang there, because in Cape Town everybody drinks wine. It's a norm. So, the more the merrier. And that carried on. It never affected me at that stage. I didn't, although in hindsight now I did actually. But carrying on from there, my ex and I met up again, moved back to Joburg, got married. And I'd say from my early 20s, before I fell pregnant with my son, I used to have a glass of wine every now and again. And I remember liking to watch TV and doing ironing and having wine, which was nothing unusual. But that bottle of wine would not last the night. And my ex still said to me, he says, don't you think you're drinking a bit too much? You don't want to end up like your father. And don't tell me what to do. I don't like that. I'll prove you wrong. And then I had 2 bottles of wine and I was still fine. So I thought, yay, I can handle this. Any case, long story short, we were married for a good couple of years. My son was born, and the drinking became regular. I was in a industry where it was expected of me to attend functions, organize them, and to make sure that everything runs smoothly. And drinking was part of it. And I didn't think much of it going home at night and being smashed out of my mind, because my excuse was always, oh, but it was the work, you know, I don't do it on a regular basis, it was for work that I did this. And my ex still said to me, you know, it's not nice coming home and your son's half asleep and he's waiting for his mom. And I just said, oh, you know, just look after him, that kind of thing. And then it started getting to a point where we used to drink after work, and I would go and buy myself some more wine. But because he didn't like me drinking, I used to drink the wine on the bus home. And then I used to hide the boxes, because those days, I don't know if they still do it, you could buy these boxes of wine from Woolies in 500 mils. And I used to hide that. And then he said to me, do you think I'm stupid? I can smell it on you. And then the kind of person that I was, I thought, okay, fine, he can smell the wine. Maybe he must find something that he won't smell to see if he can figure it out. So I went on to, I think it was gin. And I never did things in half measures. I used to buy the small things and I used to drink it neat out of the bottle like that. And I used to hide the stuff. And when I fell pregnant with Nikki, I stopped for a while. And I actually, in my first half of my pregnancy, I drank a lot with her. And my mum-in-law came across the boxes of wine in my handbag when she took me to the doctor the one day. And the doctor said to me, you must watch out. Your drinking will affect your baby. And in those days, there wasn't a lot known about fetal alcohol syndrome. And I didn't worry about it. So I stopped until she was born. And when she was born, I think not even a week after she was born, I started drinking again. And I was breastfeeding. And the doctor said to me, he says, you know, what you take in, she gets into her system as well. It's going to affect her. And I didn't care. I just wanted to have that feeling again. And I can just thank God that she's okay. She's a beautiful child. There's nothing wrong with her mentally or physically like that. But it could have been worse. But yeah, so I carried on with my drinking, and it got so bad that I lost my job at the one place that I worked. But they didn't put it on there due to drinking, they put it due to the department closing down, which I suppose, thankful for, because it's not on my record. Needless to say, it carried on for a long time, drinking, at that it got to a stage where Yanni said to me, you can't carry on like this. And he found bottles and bottles of alcohol all over the place. And I actually thought that I was hiding it so well that he wouldn't see it. And when we got divorced, he said to me, he says, Asel said to me, I don't know why you're doing this. I said to him, because I've never been unfaithful to you. He says, no, you were. you stuffed me around with alcohol. And that's the worst kind of thing that you could have done. So I got divorced and he got full custody of the kids. And yeah, it didn't faze me. Yeah, I was 30 years old, 31 years old, and I lost my marriage, I lost my kids, but all I can think of was just drinking some more. Now I thought to myself, shit, now I've got a reason to go and get drunk, because I lost my marriage and I lost my kids. And, poor me. And in all this, my mom was there the whole time. And my mom used to cover for me a lot, Yvonne's going through so much shit, What if she just has a couple of drinks? She's not an alcoholic like her father. And I moved in with her, and I put her through shit for such a long time. I used to go and see my kids. I had visitation rights. I used to go and see them after work. And it was stipulated that I'm not allowed to be on the property if I'm intoxicated. Well, I got there one Friday afternoon, and I didn't think I was drunk, but I was. So I was arrested, and my son was standing there, and they loaded me in the back of the van, and they drove off with me. And I could still see his face, but it didn't register, and he was crying. And years later, he said to me that he could remember that. And he was sitting on the stairs outside, waiting for me to come home. And I think at about 9 o'clock, Jannie said to me, your mom's not coming home, you must come inside. And it's cuck when you hear these things afterwards. But like I said, that those years I didn't worry about it. It didn't faze me. It was just me all the time. And when I got the opportunity to rekindle with Jannie, because he tried his best to get me back, because I was his all to him. I wanted to, but I couldn't. There was no ways that I couldn't. I didn't want to stop drinking. I had all this, but I chose alcohol. And then the drinking just got worse and worse. And then I decided, no, I can't handle it here, because I can't see my kids as often as I want, and I don't want to, and it's just getting too much for me. So I decided to pack up, and I moved to Durban, because my parents are down here. And when I got here, it was like out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. I phoned my kids on a regular basis, which was every Sunday evening, and I saw them holidays when my in-laws came down. Then I met up with a guy that I was in a relationship with for 12 years. And when the relation started, it was good. We had a lot in common. He was a lot older than what I am. And it worked for a while. He didn't know about my drinking habits, and I would also stupidly, hide my bottles away from him as well, because I didn't want him to know that I used to drink with him, but I needed to get the feeling a lot quicker and so on. And just normal stuff didn't work for me. So, at that stage I was drinking whiskey. And I was drinking whiskey neat out of the bottle. And when I say neat, I mean, it didn't faze me just to take off 500 ml and just down it in one go. That was fine for me. And I used to go through about 2 liters a day. And it got to a stage where that didn't do anything for me anymore. I wanted more. Money-wise, I couldn't afford it. So Michael used to go to bed, and I used to take his wallet and go and draw money out of his account. And then he used to say, money's disappearing. And, in the beginning it was good, it was so good with him that he trusted me to to handle the household finances. So I would make up a budget list that had X amount, that had to be paid, and I would add my alcohol amounts into there. And he didn't query it. And like I said, we were in a relationship for 12 years. In that time I was working, and then we moved to Scottsboro. And when we were together for about 5 years, he said to me the one day, he says, don't you think you should cut down a bit on your drinking as well? So I said, no man, I can handle this. And it carried on. It just got, I didn't care. And then the bottles that he found, he says, what's this? I said, oh man, that was from the other night that we had a party and I forgot to throw it away. He said, but we didn't have this. I said, no, people that came over brought it with and so on. And the lies that I told, my imagination was good, really. I could really think of stories that would even anybody else, well, people believed me. So I lost my job at a place in Portland that I worked for because of my drinking. And then I was without work and I was bored. I used to get up in the morning at 8, go to the bottle store and start drinking. And then when he got home just before 4, I would make sure that I had my stash for the night and for the following morning. And that was my life. That is how I carried on for years. And I think our relationship became bad towards the end. It was abusive. I think what I went through with him, no woman should actually go through, irrespective of what you've done. Let's just say it's not something that I really talk about. It's a part of my past that I'm glad is over with. So when I left him, it was a case of either he was going to end up dead or me, because we had such a violent argument the one night that I ended up stabbing him. And that's when I realized I can't be in this anymore, because either I'm going to be locked up and go to jail, or I don't know what. So I moved back to my poor mom, and loving, caring as she always was, she took me in. And my brother was informed, and the story was told that, this is what happened. So that was in 2014, 15. Now, bear in mind that it's been drinking non-stop for me from morning to night. My mom used to find my bottles. She just threw them away. She just also said to me, when do you think enough is going to be enough? And I just said to her, Mommy, one day. I just need to get through this, And in this time, my ex informed me that my kids don't want to have contact with me anymore. He remarried, and the kids were settled, and it's just, it upsets them every time I speak to them on the phone, and they're getting older now, so they need to pay more attention to their homework and so on. And I still said, but I want to hear it from themselves. And Jason, my son, said to me, Mom, I still love you, but I'll have contact with you later. And it's what do you say to that? You don't feel like you've got the right to say anything. What did I do? I went and I drank. And that's my solution. Whenever things get too much, then drinking is the solution for me. But then the following morning, the problems are there 10 times worse. And yeah, so then I was staying with my mom and I had no work. And I used to lie to my mom to give me money, or I used to take her card, and she's a pensioner. And then the money that my brother used to send her, I used to go and draw and buy alcohol with it. Or I used to say, Mom, I need petrol, and she would give me money. The amount of cuck I put my mum to do, and she's always been there. You know, you'll get better. I know you will. You can do this. You know, tomorrow you will stop and it will all be fine. And then staying with my mom, and then I met Colin through a friend of ours. And poor him, he didn't know what he let himself in for. We used to, in our first year together, we used to party like there's no tomorrow. He's a very hard work and then come home, and then, you know, we used to go drinking and dancing and whatever. And for him it was nice because he found somebody that can drink maybe a bit more than him and still stand up straight and carry on. And I think I could have drank a lot of people under the table. But in any case, yeah, so Colin didn't know what he let himself in for. And then I found a job in Park Ready again. And I think one of his friends said to him the one day that, you know, you must have a chat or to have a look at Yvonne, because she comes to work or she goes to work in the morning and then she drinks reeks of alcohol. And he just put it down, it's from the night before. Didn't want to believe that there's anything wrong with me. But then I think, you know, things got to a point where I think he also started to see that things aren't right, because also money disappeared out of his wallet. He used to come home and I was passed out. And then he found bottles as well. And I think he chased me out the one time, and he found all my bottles hidden in the drawer, and he stacked them on the windowsill. And I think he took a Coke in, I don't know how many bottles there were, and he wrote on there, "You lying effing bitch." And he took a picture and he sent that to me. And at that stage, I think I still wanted to send one to him. It wasn't mine, but that I was the only one there. And yeah, and then we got back together, and he said to me, yeah, you know, he can't carry on like this. I don't know what his exact words were, but basically, it's not nice coming home and you don't know what your partner's going to be like. And he got to a stage where he didn't want to come home because he didn't know where I'm going to be, what I'm going to be like. And then he said to me, "I think you need help." Well, at that stage, I was willing to do anything to get him back. So he said to me, "You're going to go to AA." Now, I've been saying Scottsboro for many, many years, and I know where the AA meetings were being held at the church, the old church. And I've driven past there a couple of times, thinking maybe I should go in there. And I thought, no, maybe next time. And so it happened that in January of 2016, on a Wednesday night meeting, Colin said to me, "Okay, fine, we are going. He's going to come with me." So I thought, okay, fine. So we got there, and we walked through the doors, and as I walked in, he said to me, "Okay, bye, I'll see you later." And he turned up and he left me there. Here I'm standing, and I don't know what to do or whatever. Now, I'm not a small person, but I felt this big, because the room was packed. And I think I still sat next to Kate, and I didn't know anything that was going on. And all I remember was I was sitting there, and then we broke into groups, and I was shitting myself because the people were talking and laughing, and I thought, oh, y'all know this is not normal. And in any case, so I just said, okay, fine, I will must sit here and just listen and whatever. And then after the meeting, Wendy came to me and she introduced herself and said, okay, we'll see you Friday. And I said, yeah, right, I'm not coming back. In any case, so got home and Colin asked me how it was, and I'll be honest with you, I can't remember much of that meeting. I think I was so shit scared, and I said, no, it's fine, it was good, and I think I've got this now, so yeah, we'll carry on. So he still said to me, so when's the next meeting? And I said, Friday. He says, okay, when are you going? Now, I didn't want to go, but I wanted to save our relationship. So I said, okay, fine, I'll go. So I started going to the meetings, and I didn't know what AA was all about, and I didn't know how this program worked. I didn't know what a sponsor was. Only thing that I know of a sponsor, like most people do, they pay for you to do things and whatever. So I thought, yeah, I'm getting money to go to meetings, so awesome. But yeah, so I started going to the meetings, and I asked Wendy to be my sponsor. Or did you offer?
I offered.
Oh, you offered, yeah. Because I didn't know who to ask. But yeah, and then it started from there. But then Colin went to go and work in Malawi. Now, just to put you in the picture, when I started doing the program, we stayed at a B&B on top of a pub called the Edison in Scottsboro. So it's literally 10 steps down and I'm in the pub. So you walk through the pub to go to your room. So you walk through all the drunk people and you see the bottles there. And it wasn't easy, I'll be honest with you. But yeah, that's how my journey started. In any case, so Colin goes to Malawi, and he was supposed to go, I don't know, I think for 6 months or something. And then he said, no, you'll send me money to pay for rent and to buy stuff and whatever. And I said, no, that's fine. Now, when he left, I was just on a month when he left. And he paid me money in, and I went to the bottle store. So just on my 2 months, I relapsed. And it was a bad one. I went to our Wednesday night meeting, serving tea and coffee, as drunk as anything, thinking nobody knows. Losing my car keys, my sponsor getting so pissed off with me that she wants to fire me. But I suppose I was there and I thought I'm doing a good thing. And, you know, I can actually think back now and I can have a chuckle about it, but it's not funny. It really isn't. So I had to leave my car there, and Wendy then took me home. And then, I can't remember if I found my keys.
Mm-hmm.
Did I?
I didn't give it.
Oh, Wendy didn't give them to me. Okay. So, just before my 2 months, this is when it happened. Then on that Friday meeting, I still phoned Wendy the following day and I said, I'm sorry. And I got an earful. My word, did I get it from her. I cannot use the language that she used. I cannot remember everything that she said to me. But yeah, that Friday meeting I went back and I apologized. I owned up to in the group. And I think that's where my turning point came. Because when I started doing the program, I was doing to save my relationship with Colin. And when he wasn't here, I felt alone. He, in the beginning, was my anchor. He made me come to the meetings. He was interested. He asked questions. He's still himself. He still drinks his beer. It doesn't affect me. And so when he was out of the picture, I was alone. I was sitting in the bedroom on top of the pub, not wanting to go down, not wanting to drink, but yet I had nothing else to do. I didn't know Wendy that well to phone her and ask her what to do. I loved the fellowship at that stage because the people were so friendly and kind and nice towards me. But I didn't know anybody in the fellowship well enough to phone them. So when Colin was gone, my world just fell to pieces. And I just went apeshit. So after Wendy and I spoke, and I realized that this program is supposed to be for me, to help me, and not to look at it to please other people. I think that's where the change for me came in. And I really, really started doing the program for myself. I think my first year it wasn't easy because I didn't know what recovery was. It was difficult doing it and living where I was, but in saying that, it made me stronger because the support I had from the people that owned the pub was tremendous. Graham and Nikki was there for me 24/7, and I owe a lot to them as well. And then a lot of growth happened to me in the first year, but it's a lot to do with getting to know myself. It wasn't, looking back on how I was. That's why I say the first year for me wasn't good because I didn't want to get to know Yvonne. Yvonne, the blurry one, was fine because you never knew what to expect from her. But the sober Yvonne had so much hatred towards what I did in the past. And I couldn't forgive myself. And in that time, when I had my 1 year, Wendy said to me, give it time because the kids thing was a very big issue with me. And she said, give it time because, they will hereby people that you are doing right. And but me being the person that I am, I wanted everything to be solved right there and then. I'm 1 year clean, I want to get my kids back in my life. They didn't want me. And it's something like, but why not? I'm better. You must forgive me and, hug me now, let's get this over and done with and just carry on. But it didn't work like that. I only met up with my daughter in 2017. I actually met up with her, and it was a weird meeting because she was 19 at that stage, and I mean I cannot explain to you what it feels like to sit across the table from somebody that you gave birth to that you don't know. But yet in this 2 years that we've been in contact now, our relationship has grown in heaps and bounds. It's something that I always wanted. And with her, it was easy because she just said to me, Mom, I don't know what all this shit is about because there's nothing wrong with you. And she says, I don't want to know about your past. I love the person that's sitting here by me. And that's my mom. And those are the words I'll never forget from her. And yeah, so for me, it's awesome to have that. My son is still not on board. He just, he's like his father. He cannot forgive and forget. He just said to me, when he's ready, he'll make contact again. And his words to Nikki was, what can your mom give in my life that I don't have now? nothing. I wasn't there for him when he needed me. He's got a stepmom who adores him. So, I can't force our relationship. I will never force myself to be in his life. It's his choice. But I pray on that a lot. And, this is the awesome thing about recovery is when I started doing this as well, I never had a relationship with God. And it wasn't an overnight thing that, how can I put it, that I felt that I had him back again. Because for many years, I turned my back on him. Although I know he was always there for me, because the amount of stuff that I went through and that I've done, I mean, no person would actually survive it. But that's just me knowing that God was always there for me. Although I never wanted him or never cared about it, he was always there. My relationship with him now is so that I don't go without a day without praying and thanking him, because I would not be here without him. It's just something that I think it's personal for me. I have got a lot to do to show my gratitude and my thanks and everything to my God. That's why I think just doing this also is in some ways something like that. But so my first year was rekindling with Nikki, my big thing, and then I think the second year I finished my steps. It took me 2 years to finish my steps, but it was a tough one for me because I had to redo my step one, and my step one took me 4 months. The first time it took me 2, second time 4 months, because I did it properly. And I must be honest, it wasn't easy doing the steps on my own. I would read through it and then ask Wendy for help, and she would just guide me through it, which I appreciated, but I didn't like what I wrote down. I still think of it now when Colin went through the book and he said to me, "Oh shit, it's time gone by so quick." Okay. In any case, Colin said to me, "I'm waiting for you to get your step 8, because that's your amends." So I said to him, "I don't owe you any amends." So he starts, because for me, making amends to him is doing it on a daily basis. Me staying sober is my way of saying I'm sorry for what I've put through, but no words can be said sorry enough. It's action that proves to the people in your lives that you are trying to make things better. I don't get it perfect every day, I'm far from that, but I do it to the best way that I can. And it's been an awesome journey so far. I love this fellowship of ours. It's lovely coming here, and I want to thank everyone here, because a lot of you have walked this journey with me from day one, and been through the ups and downs with me. And I've got an awesome sponsor who I love a lot, and I've got an awesome partner who I love so much. And thanks very much.